I want you guys to answer a question for me. On a life satisfaction rate on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you? How are you feeling today? I just want to check in with you. Okay. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you how you feeling today, but let me be the first. How are you feeling today? Be honest. Let's just start there. Shout out to Lauren in the building. What's happening, sis? I peeped in on your stream Saturday for like 5 minutes and I was out of there. Boy, it was bad. I was sick, down bad. But I hope the conversation went well knowing you. I know it did. 2 out of 10. Oh, let's talk about it, man. What's going on? Uh, why the 2 out of 10? Why the 2 out of 10? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I cannot complain. Great question. What's up, Madison? Good to see you. 8 out of 10. Let's go. Oh, okay, Brittany. Yeah, let's talk about it. 1 out of 10, is it just kind of like the flow of the sadness? Everything's kind of fresh and recent. That's to be expected. Why does blocking not work? That's a great question. We're going to talk about that. Let me open up with some of this and I'm going to scroll up for some questions and get some things going. So, the reason why I'm saying blocking doesn't work for most people in most situations and cases is not because the purposes of blocking that we think on the surface don't actually prevail. Okay. In the sense of you block them, they no longer have contact to you, they can no longer text you, they can no longer call you, all the things. A lot of the times that's what people resort to from an emotional response when it comes to just being done dealing with somebody they're no longer connected with, don't desire to talk to, all the things. However, I say blocking doesn't work because we use and treat blocking as an out of sight, out of mind behavioral tactic to address a situation when in reality it is not out of your heart, especially when it comes to high emotional investments, especially when it comes to deep connections, especially when it comes to somebody that you genuinely wanted relationship with or not, maybe because it dwindled, it deteriorated. We go and block them on all socials, we go and block them on all contacts, but in reality, they're still in your mind, still running rampant on your heart, on your emotions, playing on your strings of emotions and all the things. And this is actually what causes many of you, whether, and I'm not saying everybody here is doing that. However, what many people won't acknowledge in the midst of blocking somebody is that you do that. And then you go on social media on burner accounts to stalk social media pages, story posts, what they're saying, what they're doing. And somehow, some way, that person always ends up on your radar and algorithm as you know the new person they're dating, the new person they're talking to, the new person they're connected with, or everything they got going in their life that's updated that has nothing to do with you, and yet will say that you're over them, but that clearly isn't the case. And so, in light of this conversation, it is not to say that there doesn't come a time and moment where blocking may be necessary. Okay, if you're experiencing harassment, right? Um, somebody just doesn't get the memo of the boundary that is set and is continuing to be disrespectful and distasteful to that. There's nuances to these things. I'm not saying there isn't a time and place for that. However, I've noticed that a lot of you are willy nilly with that block button. And you do it because it gives you some sense of control and power. When in reality, it hasn't done anything for you like you assumed it would, because the thoughts, emotions, stories, feelings not only are still weighed on your heart, but it did not get the job done in terms of getting this person out of your thoughts and out of your heart. And so there's a lot more to that conversation, and things to navigate through with that conversation. But this is why I'm on the side. I don't know, or maybe I'm alone. I don't think I am, but I'm on the side of not really moving so quickly to the block button. It's a very emotional response. Um, I'm not saying again that there isn't a time and place for it. However, there's a difference between this person being annoying, someone you don't want to connect with and just simply want to end conversation with, and then somebody who's harassing you, right? And a lot of you block off the front end, not off the ladder. And I think because of the ability to be able to deal with inner wounds, inner pains that this person's name, previous conversations may bring up as it relates to the relationship or connection ending, is something that leads me to reflect inwardly to process these things instead of blaming them or seeing them as the issue, putting that onus on them to fix, to correct, to heal, to process. I think it's just something worth being considerate and curious about. So I just opened up that conversation. I see a lot of new messages. I'm excited to hear those. And of course, I'm always open for disagreements. I'm not here to debate, right? We're just let's have some conversation on it, but to also have some conversation with the intention to heal and move forward. Okay. Um, I'm appreciative for everybody being here. Again, if you have questions, all the things, don't be afraid to hit that blue and pink silhouette at the bottom to call up, and we can process some things together. I'm excited. Um, yeah, honestly, I didn't even do anything. The feelings just passed, and I realized it was just a loop. There we go, Raphael. That was the whole purpose of everything that we talked about, right? I don't know if you're still in the chat. That's the whole thing that we talked about, man. At that point, a lot of times you'll realize when you pause and just rest and give it a second, the loops, man, they'll come to an end. They'll come to a halt, and it's not something that we have to find ourselves stuck in. And I'm glad that conversation seemed to be helpful. Got our first caller. Um, Again, I'm gonna scroll down, see all the new messages. So you guys give me a second as some of this kind of piles up. Don't be afraid to like, repost, share this live with others. We'll get into all the other things as the live continues. Yo, yo,
Hey, brother.
my guy. How are you, man? What's your name?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your name again?
Let's call it Chris because I'm from Greece. So
Okay, cool, Chris.
yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
gonna do a lot of speaking mistakes because English is not my main language. So have a little bit patience with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a
Absolutely.
little bit nervous right now, to be honest, because of my English. Anyway, so long story short, I've met this girl. She came to my island in summer. We had like the craziest connection ever. I'm 30. I'm almost 37. She's 27, and we had like a huge connection. Started doing long distance because she's living in London, and the plan was to move into my country, move in with me. We had like very intense, in a good way, starting a relationship. We were speaking so many times during the day. She came to my country 3 times in 4 months. She was making the effort. She called me the one future husband. The same. I have never experienced this kind of love this type of love in my life before. Like I was imagining myself like getting married with her, meeting her family. She met my family when she came here. Anyway, it was too intense in the beginning. Like we were speaking 15 video calls per day. Like it was like a ritual for us. And during the month, she during like 3 or 4 months after that, she let me know like in January she's coming to my country no matter what. She decided to move out to London because she had a lot of pressure of her from her environment, like no social life, blah blah blah. She was working so many hours, she wasn't happy. And when she came in February to my country again, we went for an interview, and she was really disappointed out of that interview because of the contract. It wasn't so clear about the salary, if she's gonna get paid in the summertime because she's a teacher. And suddenly she changed. She shifted the narrative from "I'm coming to your country no matter what" to eventually "I'm not sure." Because I'm feeling like I don't belong to Cyprus. I don't belong to London. I don't belong to Spain because she's Spanish, by the way, and she's living in London the last 7 years teaching. Anyway, I noticed like our ritual, like speaking so many times during the day, it was like changing a lot. We were speaking from like 10 video calls, 15 video calls per day to like 1 or 2. And I realized that that wasn't healthy for me either, like being dependent from her, from how much we're gonna speak. And then I realized that I had the anxious attachment for sure, like 100,000,000%, because I was skipping like nights out with my friend to video call her. Like if I was speaking with that woman for a long time during the day, I would be happy, more productive. I will have like you understand what I'm saying. I will be generally more happy, depending how much I'm gonna talk with her. And I was noticing like the week by week, she wanted to speak less and less during the day. I asked her like, "What's up?" A month ago, she told me nothing. Okay, I told her, "If you let me know that it's nothing, I believe your words. We're moving on." And I noticed the same pattern again. She was like skipping communication, like she was a little bit cold. the mutual plans for traveling, making babies, having babies went from almost zero. Like, I want to travel. She said, we want to travel together. It was, I want to travel with my friends. I was noticing changing behavior from her. Like, and I asked her again, like a week after, is everything okay? Let me know. We can talk about it. Like, because I was anxious. Yeah, I was stressed. And she told me that, yeah, what kind of reassurance do you want? So you have your peace of mind that everything is fine. And then I tell her, okay, no worries. I'm trusting your words. If you're letting me know that there is nothing wrong, I trust you 1,000,000%. There is nothing wrong. Okay, but I wasn't seeing any difference. Like, we were going back and forth, like, skipping communication. And eventually she admitted that she needed time. She admitted that every time she's feeling overwhelmed, she tends to get into herself. She needs her space, blah, blah, blah. And I told her, yeah. So eventually my gut was right. You had something. And it was lack of communication. I didn't know. That's why I was stressed. That's why I was feeling less like a man, if you can say, because how can I suppose to find out what's really going on if you're not opening up to me? Like, be clear. Like, couple months before, you're telling me future husband, and now we went to I need time. We agreed eventually that our communication wasn't healthy. It was too intense. But I wanted to find a solution in the middle. 15 video calls per day is too much. I get it, even in a long distance relationship. But don't bring the relationship from A to Z. Let's find the middle. Like, let's find a healthy way to communicate. And she was letting me know that I'm fine with us not even talking at all. So I tell her, like, this is over. And then I changed my mind because I was very weak. And I was supposed to travel to London to meet her, like, in Easter. And then I told her, at least she let me know that she wanted time to figure out if she wants to be with me. And I was like, oh my God, what am I hearing now? So if I'm coming to London to meet you, at least let me know that if you want to see me. And she was like, no, you're pushing me to tell you things that I don't feel. Do you understand I'm feeling overwhelmed? It's too much for me now. I don't want to say things to you that I'm not really feeling about them, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, sorry for, I'm ranting a lot.
No, you're
The
good.
last,
You're good. Keep going. Keep going.
yeah, the last conversation was like a week ago. She let me know that she wanted to speak again in like July or August when the season is over for her. So she realized what she's feeling, and we're gonna see how we're feeling each other like in 5 months. I freeze 100%. I didn't tell her nothing. I left it open, and three days later, I texted her like, I understand how you're feeling. I'm not here to blame you no more. I don't want to have anything open for 5 months. This is something that it doesn't feel right for me, and I need stability in my life. And this will keep me back, keep me like I could not get the stability that I want, leaving something open for 5 months. Yeah, brother. To be honest, I didn't mention that I have already a divorce in my back, but I have never experienced this type of pain in my life. Yeah, I lost 3 kilos. Sorry, we count in kilos here, no pounds. 3 kilos in a week. So imagine like almost 10 pounds in a week. Struggling with sleeping. I know that this person, the fairy tale is not real no more. I know that. It's destroyed. We can't go back. And I know that it's a cliche, but it takes two to tango. I know that. I knew that. I'm 37. I'm not like 20. But I was feeling that I found the one. I was investing to her because I was seeing the same effort from her. Can you imagine, like 2 months ago, she told me, I'm coming to your country no matter what. My mother started learning English because she wants to communicate with you. So she was investing too. Yeah. Anyway, I wish I knew about anxious and avoidant attachment like types, because I'm not a specialist, but I'm feeling that she has the avoidant attachment for sure, because I remember every single thing that she said to me. She said to me that the last relationship that she had, she was struggling to before she moved out with her ex, that if I'm going to move out with my ex, I'm going to lose my freedom and my independency. So I think that this is a pattern from her. uh, and one more thing, and this is the final thing I want to let you know. She told me about so many guys in her past because she's super attractive, super beautiful. She told me so many guys in her past that were obsessed with her. And I asked her, so am I the next guy who's like pushing you and being obsessed with you and not giving you your time and not really understanding you? Because I was seeing the same pattern with me, like I was gonna be the next obsessed guy. And eventually, I got a little bit of my dignity back. I told her, yeah, 5 months is no go for me. And we left it like there. That's it.
Yeah, man. And well, firstly, I just want to say I appreciate you, man. The courage to just step up and
Mhm.
share that story, man. That definitely is a lot. And I don't want you to um, feel as if everything you shared was a waste, man. It was needed. Sound like that was a lot that you just needed to get off your chest. And I want to
Thank you,
create
bro. Yeah.
spaces for that, man, because men, we just don't naturally talk like that. And that doesn't mean that when we do, it's a bad thing. It just means we have to process.
Hmm.
And so I appreciate you a ton for that. I want to give you just some kudos for that. Um, I want to start by saying that your decision to say, yeah, the 5 months is no go, that was a great call. Okay, that
Hmm.
was a great call. And I think in times where we become noticeable, or we become aware of different, labelings, attachment styles, things that we didn't know before that we know now. I think sometimes it can be easier to look back and wish we knew better. Because yes, if we knew better, we possibly would have been able to do better.
Hmm.
But I want you to be, I think, more so encouraged at the fact that now that we know, we're better prepared for what's to come in the future. Dating again, re-engaging in relationships again, when the time comes, and if it's something that you desire, right? And I
Hmm.
think that's something that's really, really important to consider, that it's still a win in coming to the realization of it, even if it was later than maybe anticipated, or looking back, we wish we would have known. We have to be able to use and have grace for ourselves in these spaces, because we only know how to operate based off of what we've learned, what
Hmm.
we've seen, what we became aware of. And as we continue to grow, we just continue to be graced enough to apply it in different areas as we mature. Secondly, um, I think in terms of dealing with some of the other benefit, or not benefits, but struggles, not being able to sleep, um, loss of weight, all the things, man. Um, I typically like to tell my audience this, and just maybe possibly being new to my content, there's a flow that takes place in our life that summarizes pretty much every decision that we make. There's the experience, there's the meaning, and there's the action. Okay.
Hmm.
So the experience is just simply what we're obviously experiencing in the moment, what is happening right now. And we make a decision with our experience by what we put our focus in. Okay. Because the
Hmm.
life you're experiencing is the one you focus on. And this helps us see that there's lack and abundance in every direction. Anything we do, okay, there's a positive and there's a negative. If we choose to focus on the negative, it's very possible that the rest of the flow, kind of circulates in a negative manner. If we
Hmm.
focus more on the positive and what's possible and what we gain, what we learn, it's not to necessarily say that the feelings go away altogether, but what it does give us the opportunity to do is process them in a healthier manner that gives
Hmm.
us a way out of the experience instead of downward spiraling completely out of control while in it.
Can I
So when
interrupt for a second?
go
Because
for it.
I need. Do you know why I'm focusing on the negatives? Because I'm from a small like town. The options
Hmm.
are not like unlimited here.
Hmm.
Second is because I'm 37 and it's a cliche. It's like a stereotype here. It's not like I'm on my 20s, like having unlimited options. And the third thing that it really worries me and like messes with my head is like because I haven't felt this way for any kind of woman that I dated before in
Hmm.
my past. That's why I'm struggling. I'm saying, am I gonna be able to experience this type of love again in the future? Like, but from the other hand, I'm trying to convince myself like at the end of the day it wasn't the fairy tale that I was expecting to be, because in every stressful situation, she was letting me know that she gets overwhelmed, she needs her time, blah blah blah. So what's gonna happen in the future? Like if she was actually making the move to come here, live with me, and I'm getting out of money, like out of an employee, like I don't have a job, like a salary. What will happen? Like how I wanted my partner to be able to suffer with me, to find solutions together. She was calling us a team. And brother, I'm a coach. I'm a volleyball coach for 15 years. That's not the way teams are working.
Mhm.
Teams are like bonded, united. You find solutions together. You speak. If you have any struggles, you letting your partner know. You figure out what you're gonna do. Like find a solution in the middle. If you really want to be with a person. So I'm thinking every day myself. I'm trying to remind myself, Chris, if she wanted, yeah, she was overwhelmed. The move to a different country was huge. I get it. It's not easy to decide to move in a different country for a man that you don't even know, like from not even a year. It's not even a year. It's from August. So I get it. I was giving her all the excuses, but I wanted to find a solution in the middle. You're not ready to move in. Let's find a different solution. Let's try to long distance for another season. Like let's see what's up. And she chooses like distance. Everything that I was doing was a mistake for her. I tried to let her breathe a little bit. I wasn't replying the same moment that she was texting, giving emphasis to other stuff so she has time. And she was double texting me. I never double texted her. Imagine, never. If she would say to me, "Baby, I'm in the gym," 100%. I never like video call for proof. Never asked for a picture for proof. I was on 100%. Like if she was letting me know that she's in the moon, I say, okay, she's in the moon. I believe you. I don't need any proofs. So eventually, when I started to pull off a little bit too, like giving her time, she was worried. Like, oh my God, why you're not replying? Blah blah blah. And I told her like everything I'm doing is a mistake for you. I am consistent. You're replying like almost once per day. You're letting me know that you don't even want to speak with me. You're fine not reaching out. You're fine not you don't want to even learn about my day. And we're meeting like every 2 months. We don't have like the ability to meet every afternoon or like in the weekends. We live in different countries. So communication is number one. I get it. One more time. 15 video calls per day is too much. Okay, I get it. Let's find a solution in the middle. That's what I wanted. And it was already too late. She shifted, and eventually she told me about the 5 months bullshit. Anyway, sorry, brother. Yeah.
No, no, you're good, man. And I think this is good that we're getting this out. I want you to realize a couple things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned just basically with the culture, the age being 37, um, alongside the limited options from being where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, just kind of the fake story that basically she sold. And I want to validate that because from what you're describing, man, I want to be somebody that validates you didn't do anything wrong. Even though this is something you probably already feel and know, I just want to validate that you didn't do anything wrong, man. I think sometimes we just run into people um, who can sometimes be really good at disguising themselves for who they really are. And then when we don't have the specific languages that we do now or later that we learn that we can apply, sometimes it catches us off guard and we learn from it, we grow from it. But we also realize too that this is just a reflection of her limited capacities.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to remember this, that capacity is typically determined by two things: condition or choice. Okay. And so when I think about capacity by condition, for example, somebody who says, I don't have the capacity to work out, to lift weights, or
Mm-hmm.
get a fit body. When I think of somebody who doesn't have condition, who doesn't have capacity by condition, they just can't, right? So maybe there's an illness, right? They
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
or disabled,
disability,
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But then when you think about capacity by choice, this is just somebody who doesn't want to. I would
Mm-hmm.
rather just sit on the couch, eat chips, and all the things and not work out and not have a fit body, right? And so when I think about that, man, what you ran into, man, was someone who didn't have capacity by choice. And that doesn't have to be a reflection of who you are or who you are not as it relates to her behaviors and decisions. And to realign in that place, it is really good to to get into a consistent rhythm of gratitude and celebrating the gifts and talents of what makes you special as an
Hmm.
individual. This is something that gives you that really speaks life into you with what remains, but also gives you the ability to continue pointing out the things that makes you who you are authentically, and also that's something that is consistently deserved to be celebrated, and to continue building that healthy relationship with celebration, so
Hmm.
that in the event of connecting with somebody who possibly gives so much so soon, so fast, we
Exactly.
don't
Yeah.
find ourselves attaching to that so quickly
Hmm.
that we then kind of go on the roller coaster ride with them. And
Hmm.
that is a big adjustment that you're going to notice as you apply it now and as you grow into it later. But let
Hmm.
me let me say this as well. These are the stories. So when I came back to the experience, right, and you defined kind of basically why you're focused on the negative, that makes sense, right? That's something that is understandable. But we
Hmm.
also recognize too that we have the ability to change the story. Just because it's cultural doesn't make it right.
Of course. Yeah.
And because it's cultural, that in your culture, being 37, not married, maybe has a negative connotation, much like in the States.
To be honest,
Um,
not from my environment, my parents, my friends, because they almost everybody in my circle, they're in the same situation.
sure.
But it's the plan that I have from my life, you know.
Yeah,
For example, I was saying with that specific woman, my ex, I wanted kids before I'm 40. Like
sure.
the good scenario. She was saying I wanted kids before I'm 30. So the timing was perfect.
Hmm.
My only complaint, brother, is this. You have every right in any time to step out in any relationship. We are not in a prison. Nobody's forcing you to be with me.
Hmm.
But if you're letting a man know that he's your future husband, like he's the one, he has never experienced this type of love, and I'm so special for her.
Yep.
And brother, she was video calling me in the morning.
Hmm.
We were hanging out, and she was calling me again in 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, because she wanted to see my face one more time. So
Hmm.
it was inevitable. So me to get bonded. Like I want, I was seeing the effort from her too. Maybe it was too much. Maybe it was fake. Maybe it's at the end of the day, it was about capacity. Yeah, but if you're letting a man know that he's the one, and for any reason you don't want to be with him anymore, you have every right for sure. But at least let him know. Be
I agree.
honest.
I agree.
Don't leave me worrying, stressing. She knew that I couldn't eat. She knew that I couldn't sleep, and she was a bother. She just texted me, I'm sorry that I'm putting you to this hill.
Hmm.
Just this. Nothing else. No more explanation. Like, let me know you don't want to be with me. Like, take the responsibility. Why are you pushing me to say that we're over? It was almost like she was doing that. How can I accept from a long distance relationship to speak once every couple of days? That's not healthy, man.
Yeah. No,
Do
I,
you
I
think that
I hear you.
it's too much? Like I was asking for too much?
No, no. I think there was, now here's what you got to pay attention to in the future, right? As we continue to move forward with this. It's not that you were asking too much, but sometimes we learn that we might be asking more from the wrong people.
But why she was giving in the beginning? Why she was super into it,
Yeah.
saying all these big words?
Yeah.
She got overwhelmed because of her decision. Decision was probably because the summer is approaching. She had to tell to her school that she was working
Mhm.
up to May that she was moving out, and she wasn't ready to move out of the country eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think what you described her to be with like an avoidant, and she might probably fit based off of some of the behaviors, even more so anxious avoidant. And
Hmm.
this is kind of also a picture of where you might have love bombing come into play, right? And
Hmm.
so there's like a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. They're giving you the world, they're telling you all these beautiful things about you up
Hmm.
front. And it's a mechanism to reel you in. And then they eventually walk away and disappear without conversation, without connection. And all of those things, man, are not, again, a reflection of who you are not, but a reflection of what that person is, who that
Hmm.
person is. And something that, yes, even though it hurts, and we want to validate that, and we want to grieve through that because there was a lot of emotional investment into that. We
Sure,
want to
yeah.
be honest about some of those
She met
emotions
my
that show up.
family. My mother
Right.
loved her. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so we want to be honest about that and be able to grieve that healthily so we don't carry that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, as we grieve it, be able to engage in reframing by allowing ourselves to realize that these behaviors were not an indication of who Chris is not. It was an
Mm-hmm.
indication of who she was and what she
Eventually,
lacked, and
eventually,
what
yeah.
she, yeah, and what she's not healing through, what she's not willing to work through. And she this isn't her first time doing this. And we will realize as we heal and move forward that one of the greatest things that we can do is obviously, yes, learn from this, but allow ourselves to process and grieve through it. Some of the questions that we have: why is she willing to do something so fast, so soon? Why? We could probably come up with a lot of different answers, and a lot of them may make sense. But we, as part of even what you initially, described yourself as, anxious attachment, it's part of, really giving ourselves an opportunity to be okay with the empty blanks, be okay with the answers that we don't have, and learning to be okay, become okay, is a process, but it's something that gives us the ability to not necessarily feel like we need closure to move on, but
Mm-hmm.
realize that the behaviors is what they were, and their behaviors don't get to set a new precedence and standard for who Chris is, or who Chris, or how Chris desires to move forward in the future. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah, brother. Yeah, 100%. I know that, and this is what I'm reminding myself every day. But I'm having so many relapses during my day,
Yeah, it's that's part
and
of the process.
yeah, because it's been like a week since our last conversation
Sure.
that I let her know that I'm not into like 5 months, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have many times during my day that I'm saying that I don't deserve this. Like, move on. Like, maybe it would be even worse in the future if she was actually making the move. So I'm trying to convince myself that eventually, yes, that's not the fairy tale that I was hoping.
Mhm.
But I have so many times during my day, brother, I'm wishing like she's gonna text me, let me
Yeah.
know that it's like it was just a difficult phase for her. We need to try like find a solution. Yeah, I'm in this phase now, like being a little bit like negative and a little bit like I'm denying the facts sometimes. Sometimes I'm seeing
Mhm.
clearly. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit confused.
Absolutely. No, no, no. You're making sense, and it's part of the grieving process. And I want to reassure that having those moments and relapses in your day is normal. That's
Hmm.
part of the process and part of healing it. What I want to encourage you to do is, when you find yourself in those moments, recenter on gratitude, and
Hmm.
recenter on something about yourself that you're willing to celebrate
Hmm.
as it relates to the person you are and the person you're becoming, the gifts and talents that you have. I know for me, going through rejections, what felt like a similar pattern, in one world or one reason or another, uh, it was very, very easy to kind of slip back into those patterns, looking
Hmm.
at the phone and wishing that I could see the notification, her name come across the phone, hoping there was this anticipation in me waiting for that. It wasn't that how I navigated through that wasn't necessarily from a place of shaming that feeling, right?
Hmm.
Or guilt tripping myself into like saying I shouldn't be feeling this way. I should be over it, all the things. What we're trying to get back into is just in the present moment, because a lot of that is speaking
Yeah.
towards a anticipation or a future, right? That obviously is curated on potential. That is a reflection of the emotional investment we gave, that we
Hmm.
want to be able to come into a relaxed, present feeling with, to navigate and breathe through. Being able to take some deep breaths, slowly down regulate, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Okay, really be able to slow down and slow our breathing. And then in the event of doing that, man, get centered on some gratitude. What's around you that you can be appreciative of, right?
My
That you're
family, my
grateful.
friends, yeah,
Yeah,
my
I love
work,
that.
everything is fine, man. Everything is fine. That was the only thing that was missing. Like, hopefully, a good partner. Eventually, she's not. And one last thing, because I'm holding you for so long, I'm gonna leave some other people to talk.
For
For
sure.
sure, I'm not gonna contact her again. Like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go no contact 100%. But my only wish is like I'm gonna go no contact. Yeah, 1,000,000%. But I don't want to be on the standby mode. Like, if she's gonna reach out, I'm gonna fall again, blah blah blah. No, no. I decided like if she said if she will ever reach out and I haven't moved on with my life, I want to see what's really changed for her, you know?
Yeah.
Because if she wants to reach out just to see if I'm available, or like just to check out like if I will reply, or like if I haven't moved on, I'm not gonna go to any conversation. Like,
Yeah. And I think that's a safe bet. And how to ensure that you don't fall for that. Sounds like
hmm
that might have been like a question that wasn't asked but can be asked. I would say, you know, as you're healing and processing this, man, realize that not everybody is also intentionally doing that healing work themselves.
hmm
And so in order to really determine if this even makes sense, come back to a foundation of your values, come back to a foundation of what you value in a relationship, what
hmm
you value in a partner, whether long term or long distance. Okay. And we're coming back like you value peace, consistent communication, you value all these other things, right? That you might put in this list. Create 5 to 7. And then just
hmm
ask yourself, even in the event of her sending a message, because it's not the message or her reaching out that can re-spark the feelings. A lot of times it's again, it's what we read into that. It's the story that we cultivated around that that is
hmm
actually creating the emotions. So to process that, we just slow down. Cool, she sends a message, or cool, she calls. We can't control that. But in the event of us being able to control our own behaviors, is this even something that makes sense to come back to? And we measure that by our values, because
hmm
the healing work you're doing is valuable enough to not just throw away in the event that someone tries to turn back around to see if
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
access.
Especially if nothing changes for her. Like,
Absolutely. And
for example, brother, I have my birthdays in like 3 weeks.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna reach out, if she's gonna text, but I don't want to have in the back of my mind, oh my god, she might text me happy birthday. Yeah, so what? What's gonna change? Like, a happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I get you. And
mhm,
those thoughts, man, that I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or anxious in trying to dissolve those thoughts. Again, it's more so some of the stories that we're creating. Be
mhm,
okay with some of them flowing in and realizing you're not your thoughts, and you don't have to cling to that. We don't have to make that to mean anything. And we can actually still move on and move forward by being grounded and centered in the present, and not allowing that overthinking to push us into a different place. Because again, like we're not even at 3 weeks. We're creating scenarios that aren't a reflection of anything that's happening right now. And so we're not there
mhm,
yet. And so when we get there, if she does, we don't have to engage in it. We don't have to embrace it. And we can keep moving forward while we're still processing these emotions. And I want to say this too, last thing. And then I know I got to take other
mhm.
callers. And I appreciate you a ton, Chris, for sure. And just your
Yeah,
story
me
and
too,
sharing
brother.
that.
Me too.
I'm
Me too.
glad. I hope this was helpful. Let me say this.
1,000,000%. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Let me say this, man. When the time is right, okay, when the time is right and when things align, uh, you don't have to listen and abide by various different expectations and timelines that maybe you created or people around you may create for you, as it relates to some of the
Mhm,
feelings of being behind, as it relates to this falling apart. um when the time is right, man, I'm telling you, and again, I know from a faith filled perspective and foundation, I really do believe
mhm,
that when you're walking with God, you cannot be behind. And there,
mhm,
there is a season and time for everything under the heavens. And I want you to be in the present with where you are, knowing that you are not too far gone or too late to experience a healthy connection relationship and still experience the things that you want in it, even if it doesn't happen in the timeline you expected it to. It
mhm.
doesn't mean that it can't happen. It doesn't mean that it won't happen. We just have to look for the abundance to come into agreement with that continues to allow those possibilities to come into reality. Does that make sense?
1,000,000%. Yeah. Thank you so much, brother. That
Absolutely.
was a real one. And to be honest, I needed like 1,000,000% what you said to me. It's an eye opener, and I appreciate it so much, man. Thank
Absolutely,
you.
man. I appreciate you, bro. Listen,
Yeah.
and if
Take
you have other
care.
questions, be able to ask it in the chat.
Of course, of course. Take care. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You
Bye.
too.
Ciao.
Easy. Hey, man, y'all drop a one in the chat for Chris. Was that conversation helpful? Was that helpful to anyone else? Did that make sense? Um, drop a one in the chat, man. That was really good. And sometimes, man, we need some spaces to be able to just let go. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of process some stuff emotionally, mentally, all the things. Um, and those are some experiences, man, that are really challenging to navigate through. But obviously, with some help in processing, it can make a difference. And I hope that was helpful. Um, so do block them or don't. Again, Mariana, I'm glad you asked that, and I'm going to continue to take callers. You guys keep asking questions in the chat. I'm going to get to them. Um, again, blocking them in a lot of ways, and again, I'm expecting not a whole lot of people to agree with it. But again, when you run into situations in relationships where it just disconnects, it's no longer in favor. Um, I don't take the initiative or suggest to others, clients, to block, right? Unless it is something that is you're being harassed, right? Um, Boundaries are just simply continuously being ignored. Again, I'm not saying there is never a time to use the block button. I just think we are in a culture where we are block button happy, thinking that using the block button is going to get them out of sight, out of mind, when it doesn't, because you still compare your next relationships to this person silently. You still stalk social medias. You still, are doing all the things that you were hoping blocking would eliminate, and it didn't. And that's because it's more of a heart issue, an emotional processing issue, not a block and trying to gain control through access type of issue. There is a world where the abundance and peace that you actually are able to live in doesn't come by you blocking everybody. It comes by giving people the opportunity to see you, and you having the self control and restraint to not re engage, and to not actually give them the time or day. Uh, Again, from a spiritual foundation, a lot of people, believers, love to quote the passage, that you will know, you place me in front of a table in front of my enemies, right? It's kind of crazy that a lot of you, one, desire to have a setting like that, but all your enemies are blocked from you to be able to see you flourish while they have no access to you. That's a very, just, I guess, one way to look at it. Um, like a lot of you want to have haters so bad, or want to have people who don't like you so bad, uh, but don't desire to keep them in proximity to you, not intentionally so they can see you win and you can watch them fail, not that type of energy, but you block everybody. And because you block everybody, because you feel like it gives you a sense of control, when in reality, it just continues to bury and dismiss what you really need to process because you decided to move with an out of sight, out of mind mentality. A lot of times it don't work. You still need to heal. And you realize the people that you blocked, you still have access to your heart, in various different ways. And it's not helpful. It's not healthy. And you're confused. Um, and so, yeah, um, it's kind of almost, yeah. And there's a lot of things that go into that, and other perspectives to help. So, yeah, yeah, Mariana, yeah, and I hope that makes sense. It's just part of the game. Part of the game. Okay. So she's not on. Let's get Elise in here. Is Elise in here? Nope. Um, okay. What is happening? Okay.
Oh,
Yo, what's happening?
hi, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. How can I be of help for you?
I, I just blocked my fiance.
Okay. Okay. Um, what are you okay with sharing what happened? What led to it? Um, what's
Um,
the context there?
um, they keep drinking, and then they'll start these crazy arguments with me, and it really has more to do with people that they've dated in the past that have hurt them,
Mm-hmm.
and it has nothing to do with me because I haven't done anything to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the fight, then I feel terrible,
Mm.
and it can ruin my day.
Yeah.
They'll come
Um,
back and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry for what I said. That was wrong of me. Can you please forgive me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Completely forget about what happened. And then within a month they do it again. Apologize in the exact same way. And it's been a year now, and I'm really tired. But part of me feels like I still should let them back. And it's only been like a day since I blocked them, so I think it's normal for me to feel like that. But I was just listening to you talking to the other person, and it seemed like maybe you could have something.
Yeah.
So I guess you tell me what I already know.
Well,
I just really unsure right now.
yeah. Well, firstly, I love the self-awareness of like just kind of maybe the feelings and where it's going, how it's trended. So I want to applaud you on that. Here's my question. Um, are you technically still engaged? Only been a day. Have you called off the engagement? Are you what is the thought process there?
Last night, we asked me if we wanted to be together. Well, it was the night before last night, and I just said no. So, but then I said yeah later on, but then I was like no, and then I said I don't want to talk to you.
Hmm.
So then he hung up, and then in the morning when I woke up, which it was really like 3 in the afternoon when I woke up because we were up really late,
Yeah.
and I just blocked him when I woke up.
Hmm.
I said I can't trust you in my heart. Don't talk to me. I blocked them on WhatsApp, but I didn't block them on my phone.
Okay. So why didn't you block them on your phone if you blocked them on WhatsApp? Out of curiosity.
Um, because I'm still attached to them, but we primarily talk on WhatsApp, so they won't text me as much if it's on my regular phone, but I know they'll just only say something if they really feel like it's important.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's less contact at that point, and I don't feel like I have to respond to them. But it's just like I guess because I haven't fully been like, hey, let's just call this whole thing off. Like all I did was he said, "Do you want to be together?" and I said no. So
Yeah.
I guess like at the point where I'm ready to put it into words,
Hmm.
mm, I would do that on my normal phone.
Okay. How do you feel saying all this right now?
I feel very like kind of scared, honestly. I know like I was talking about building a future with them, and it's like if I accept them back just because I feel things for them still, would that then mean that I was the I was the reason that my life would be hard for the next 5 years or something like that? Like, and I don't want to miss out on things that I was supposed to do just because I'm distracted with someone who's supposed to be supportive of me. So
Yeah. And those are very valid feelings. So um there's no blame or shame or anything added to that. Let me allow me to say this. Um Someone who refuses, this goes for anyone, who refuses to not only acknowledge how they're hurting you, but refuses to also not correct the behaviors that you've communicated are hurting you is someone, no matter what they say, doesn't have respect admiration in the relationship for you. And the feeling of wanting to bring them back, yes, I would agree that it is attachment, and I would also agree that there's a sense of some fear, as you described it, to be scary, because there's a lot of what you've invested into this person, what you hoped to experience with them, and now all of that has crumbled because of their recklessness, and their unwillingness to correct intentionally how they're hurting you. And you're not just grieving, the called off wedding and engagement and all the things,
Yeah.
but you're grieving a friend or someone that you at least thought you could trust and engage with. And so I want you to move forward from this in a place of alignment where you're focused more on what makes most sense for you
Yeah.
and what is healthiest for you. And it sounds like from this conversation, what's healthiest is to walk away. And I fully agree with that. And what this does for you, even though it doesn't feel like it now, is it opens up the ability to be able to receive what is really for you, who is really for you, and the love that God really desires for you beyond what you're experiencing here.
Yeah.
And I think that that is really, really where the win is. And we won't be able to get there until we let go of that which we're trying to hold on to in hopes it would change when we have ample evidence that shows otherwise.
Yeah.
And blocking them in this regard and in this conversation, this is why I say that there's nuances to it. Okay. I think I guess there's a world where we could have said, yes, you could have blocked them on your actual phone as well. But I would say this, um, there does need to be, you know, initial communication made of whoever is involved that the engagement is called off. Um, and that as of today, you are no longer with them. And you do not owe a soul an explanation for why this is not happening anymore. Um, with that, I would say as that's being communicated, um, now it's up to us to actually do the intentional healing work moving beyond
Yeah.
it. And, of course, blocking them on WhatsApp, it's already done. And I'm not trying to necessarily coerce or tell anyone from the topic of blocking um, that you should never block. Um, but at the core of blocking, it is an emotional response. Um, and we want to be curious behind what we were hoping to achieve in that. But in this regard, and this is why I say in nuance, in this regard, I'm not mad at the blocking because you were experiencing verbal mistreatment from this individual when intoxicated, and
Yeah.
it was repetitive. That falls in the lane of harassment for me. And in
Mhm.
order to protect and contain your emotional health, this separation and this decision to block makes sense. And I don't want to create any sense of shame and guilt for anyone who is like, yo, I've made the decision to block them and all the things. Again, there's a reason and nuance behind it. And in this particular situation, that seems to be a more aligned, healthy decision. And what's going to help you be able to grow even further is doing the internal work to get aligned, to detach, to reframe, to grieve this loss in order to become available for what's really for you beyond this moment. And know that everything is going to be okay. But I would rather a healthy you that is out of this relationship than a version of you that sticks in this relationship out of fear of being late, being behind, not falling in line with timelines, all the things that you wished you were experiencing or you had planned to experience in a specific time with this person. It's not worth going back for. And I think what you'll be able to experience beyond them will be so much more worth than reconnecting here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think everything you said makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm behind. I feel like I was kind of early on this because
Mm-hmm.
I'm only 20.
20? Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't rush. Don't hurry. The right settings and right relationships are going to come into alignment and make sense and be healthier for you than what you've been on the receiving end of this. And we learn a lot about people in their worst conditions. Don't ever forget that. We learn a lot about people in their worst conditions. When they're mad, sad, stressed, even forms of intoxication. We're getting glimpses of who this person genuinely is. And when it crosses the threshold, enough is enough. Yep, broke all the things. Those kind of things expose people. Exposes us too, but it exposes people. And we pay attention to that. And I think everything's going to be okay. But I'm proud of you for making the decision to acknowledge and be aware of that situation and walk away, because that's a safe decision, and a decision that I back and support.
Yeah. I definitely know it's safer because they live a really far distance away, like a couple of states away. And I was like thinking, if I left my family here to go be with them, then they still keep behaving that way. They said they were going to stop, and they're still doing it. That I would be isolated, and that would be horrible.
Would. Yeah. We
They're supposed to be coming here to visit
mm,
in like a week. I'm just gonna tell them don't come here. It's like hard to kind of, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm practicing saying it out loud.
oh, I love that. Let's do you want to do a role play real quick?
Uh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So role plays for anyone listening in. This is just an opportunity to just kind of practice, put it into play, right? Um, so I'll be I'll be you,
Okay.
okay? And you kind of respond and operate as your ex, okay?
Okay.
Um, and what's a typical setting of this like conversation as it's going down? Are we on the phone? Are we texting? What's the setting?
On the phone.
On the phone. Okay. Who's calling? Him or you?
Him.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with like the ring ring, and I'm gonna pick up the phone. and then you're just gonna go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And action. Ring, 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 ring.
Kez.
Hello.
Kez.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey. Be there?
Hey. Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
So, last night I said some things and I was wrong and I'm really sorry. I hope it didn't hurt you too bad.
Yeah. Um. So, well, it's kind of interesting that you're apologizing um for this. This has been this has happened a lot. This has happened a lot.
Yeah,
And
I know, and I'm sorry. I just,
yeah,
I told you I get like this when I drink, and honestly, it's my fault. I should have dealt with it a different way.
yeah, I agree. You should have dealt with it in a different way. And I just think at this point it's happened too many times for me to continue to trust that you're going to do different and do better.
I mean, like, what are you saying? You think we should call off the relationship?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's best that we call off the engagement and we call off the relationship.
Well, so what, you're saying you don't want to be married anymore?
I don't want to be married to you.
You want to be with other guys?
I want to be with someone else who's going to care enough to consider me, my well-being, and my health that you haven't shown to care,
But I do care.
not by your actions.
No, you don't understand. I was drinking because I missed you. I mean, I really love you.
Yeah,
Like, Kez, I don't think you understand.
I'm sure you believe that. I don't. And because of that, I am not interested in continuing this relationship, this engagement. I'm done with you and don't call again.
So you're not my wife?
Nope. And you're not my husband.
Wow. Okay,
Doot,
if
doot,
that's how
doot.
you want it to be. Sends a text. I really loved you. Dot dot.
Mhm. And we don't answer.
You don't answer.
Mm-mm.
Then we have a good day.
Then we have a great day. And you might have moments. Well, let me and scene. Okay. There's the scene, right? So realizing that whole exchange that we were honest about how we felt
Yeah.
and we were honest about how their behaviors and unwillingness to change those has impacted the status of this connection. And of course, I'm not telling you have to say it exactly how we did, but that is a way that we can remain regulated, even as you say it, and tears may flow because it may not be what you want, but you know it's what you need. That is how we clearly set that boundary and expectation. And he may call again, he may text again. We say what was needed to be said, and we don't respond to what he says next. Do you have a ring?
No.
Mm. So he engaged. So y'all were engaged, but you don't have a ring.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
So
then to go see them, and they took out $400 to spend on us hanging out and going and doing activities together. But they didn't get me a ring,
mm,
and they lost the money at a house party.
yeah, it's time to end that.
Yeah.
1000%. It's time to go. And we say what we need to say. And if he continues to blow up the phone and send messages, if it's so hectic to the point where it is like literally uh, freezing your phone, all the things, like it's that bad, block the number. Full permission.
I blocked them because they call at like 5 in the morning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it was hard because I almost broke it up with them a couple of times over the last month and a half.
Yeah.
But they were uh, like it's yeah, the person I was with for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So
So we just set those boundaries
yeah,
and we keep it cool, calm, and collected as we say those things. We let it go and have a great day. And don't feel pressured to explain it to others who may come and ask what happened, what's going on. You don't owe them an explanation unless you really believe you want to tell them. That's okay, but don't feel pressured.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, it does.
Was it helpful?
I know I deserve better than the bare minimum. Like I have a lot going for me,
You do.
and I trust God.
There, there it is.
Thanks for talking to me.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling. And if you have any other questions or anything like that, send me a message.
Okay.
Okay, I'm rooting for you, and you're gonna be okay. God's got you. I promise. What's happening, what's going to be available for you beyond this is going to be way better than what you feel you're leaving, because that's how my God works.
I know it.
Okay. Thank you for calling. And again, send me a message if you have any questions or have any updates.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take it easy. Ooh, gotta breathe on that one, man. Put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat if that was helpful. Was that helpful for anyone? Um, this is how I wanna give a hug too. Glitzy, you know, I'm telling you, I can give a hug with words, but man, sometimes you just gotta breathe through some of those things. And this is what I need you guys to move with, this type of energy when you're in situations, in areas and seasons like that in your life. Um, Words are not fruit, actions are. Words are not fruit, actions are. And you would be surprised at the level of transformation that comes from your life when you come into agreement with those things and in alignment with that in your life. Okay. I hope that was helpful, y'all. I hope that was helpful. Um, I pull out those role plays every now and again. Um, but we can always move with those things as great examples to set some standards. What about a man who's avoidant, but you still don't feel like the relationship is over for good, even though we've been apart for a year? What makes you believe the relationship isn't over for good? if you've been apart for a year? What makes you feel like there's still a chance? Connection is still there. Connection is still available. All right. So we're gonna move quick. Okay. So I've been on this and I've been locked in with you guys. Let me say this. I got one last caller and I got 12 minutes. Okay. So please come with your question. Please get to it as quick as you can. I don't want to rush you, but I also have something else I gotta be at. Okay, so let me be quick. Um, be sure to send a message secure if you're interested in getting into my secure program designed to help you get from anxious and avoidant attachment to secure attachment through various nervous system modalities, but overall, just getting you to a place of security in your life. Okay. If you're interested in sessions, all right, you've heard some of the work we're doing today, you listened in, you're like, yo, need your help. Secure sessions. Okay. Send me a DM, secure sessions. We can get something going. Be sure to go to the top of my page. There, you'll be able to take a free relational diagnostic, okay, questionnaire that gets you a free relational diagnostic to see patterns that are underneath that are exposing your experiences with love so you can do better. Take next steps there. Or if you don't know your attachment style and you need to know it, click the same link at the top of the page. When you get to that page, scroll down, you should see a goal line. Take your attachment style quiz. Take that and then follow the next steps after it. Okay, it'll take you directly to get your relationship diagnostic as well. That puts you on a pathway to be able to book a qualification call and see what membership makes the most sense for you to be able to engage and get the healing you need to experience the love you want. Okay. Um, do those things, and we'll be right on cue. All right. Um, Claw Queen is the last one.
Hey,
Hey, hey, how are you?
good. So are we doing just kind of like general relationship, or is it like specifically related to blocking?
Oh, it's general. It's general. It doesn't have to be related to blocking.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, me and this one guy are talking right now. We were texting for a while, and then we had a couple video calls recently. And I know that we're nowhere near this step yet, but he did mention at one point that like he wouldn't want to share his passcode even if he were married. And I know that we're nowhere near marriage yet, but he's like, that's got all my emails and like my past information and my conversations with friends, and like he's like, I want some privacy, which, in my opinion, if you're married, there really shouldn't be anything between you. So I don't know if this is something that I should try to work with now, or if I should like forget about him.
That's a great question. So maybe I want a little bit more context.
Mhm.
So what was his tone and approach like when you brought that up or when that conversation was had? Was it
Um,
aggressive? Was it
no, it wasn't really aggressive. Like I would say like he understood my perspective, because like I said to him, well, I think that if you're married, then there shouldn't be any secrets, and like if you refuse, just like outright refuse to give a passcode, then that's just kind of like a red flag, in my
Mhm,
opinion.
mhm,
Um, because like I don't have any like motive to go through his phone or anything. Like I don't really care. I kind of see it more as like convenience, because like, oh hey, I got a call but I can't get it. Can you please pick it up for me, or please text my friend back for me? You know? Or like in case of emergency. And just like as a matter of principle, like there should be no secrets between you. And his response was like, well, yeah, I understand that perspective, but at the same time, we're married, but at the same time, we're still two individuals, and we should have some privacy too. Which I don't know. It just seems like a red flag to me. I've always been of the opinion that bank accounts and all that kind of stuff should be shared,
mhm,
because biblically, once you're married, you're one unit.
mhm. Yeah. So I actually don't
And he's
disagree.
Catholic too, by the way.
Ah, interesting.
Hmm.
Um, is there a specific denomination you fall in, or are you
I'm non-denominational,
okay?
but he's like not super devout Catholic.
Mm,
Like I know that he doesn't go to church regularly, but he does pray on his own. And he does go to church with his mom, like when she asked him to.
okay. So I would agree with you. Um, I believe, and this is just more so of what I want in my marriage one day. for a plethora of reasons. Number one, because any form of additional accountability from somebody I love and am deeply connected to matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
I do not desire to be or reach a pinnacle in my life where I have the wherewithal or feel like I have the privilege to be able to hide anything from my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, unless I'm trying to surprise her, and then I guess I can see how those things could be
Yeah.
kind of crazy, right? Like she has the location. I was trying to surprise you, but I guess I
Mm-hmm.
can't. Yes, I'm at the jewelry store. It is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
But those are all fun things that we can always navigate. But on a
Yeah.
serious note, I do believe that there should be a layer and sense of connection and connectedness in the marriage, in a relationship, in the marriage where you guys have access to those things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for the purpose of trying to expose or catch somebody, but
No.
it's because of the level and layer of trust that has been built.
Yeah.
And I just don't see a world where I'm going to refuse my wife to have access to my phone. She should
Mm-hmm.
know the passcode. She
Yeah.
should just be able to grab the phone, get in it, and get what she needs, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy. Again, you might hear something different from a lot of other people in spaces, but this is healthy. Um, I I envision one day my wife going into my phone and leaving me nice surprises in my phone.
Yeah.
Like she just has privileges of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have access to her, and it's not from any kind of crazy play. And so I think that is a healthy thing. I think that is a beautiful thing. I think that is
Yeah.
such a needed thing. Shared accounts, absolutely. And I think there's plenty of people in couples who work differently. I'm not saying it has to be an overarching thing. I think if you guys come to an agreement, like, hey, you have an individual, he has an individual, you guys have a shared account, right? Something along
Mm-hmm.
those lines. That's beautiful too. But I'm all for intertwining, and I think for a lot of people in today's culture too, regardless of where they come from, uh, there's a lot of fear that is really really encouraging people to feel like they have to keep a sense of privacy.
Yeah.
um and that's just kind of showing you how they're thinking and how they're operating. Again, how long have you guys been talking?
So it's been almost 2 weeks. So we did meet on the app and then we transitioned to phone. But
Okay.
so we are going to be talking again on Wednesday. I just don't know if this is something I should bring up or if something I should obsess over right now. Because I
Yeah.
mean, we seem to be compatible in a lot of ways, but the phone thing, I don't know. Because he said like when he had his ex like a little many years ago, he would like unlock his phone and let her use it for whatever for a moment. But I don't know. If you're going to unlock your phone for someone, you might as well let them have the passcode.
Yeah. So, well, and I think this is worth. I do. Yeah, Glitzy. I think a lot of men would disagree. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them are unhealthy. Let me say this. What does now? Of course, in everything that we just shared and we just had
Mm-hmm.
common ground on, what does not having the passcode mean
Yeah.
to you? What does that
It's
mean to
just
you?
like he doesn't trust me in that point, or he's trying to keep some kind of secret,
Hmm.
you know? And plus, it's just the principle like once you're married, you're one flesh and you're one body. So anything that's like part of my past or part of my being should be shared with the spouse. And it's like there should be nothing that I'm not comfortable with sharing with my spouse.
Okay.
I mean, I
And
could see if it was like something work related where it was something confidential that he could be in trouble for sharing. I could see that if there was some sort of non disclosure,
mhm.
but that's not the case here.
Yeah. And is there a moment where you felt like, was there a moment in your past relationships where
Hmm.
someone you didn't have access to things and you found out you were cheated on, betrayed, or something along those lines
Um,
happened?
I will say yes, but I mean, I moved on from that, and so it's not really bothering me. This is just more like a principle that I've always believed in. Like
Hmm.
my parents always had shared bank accounts and shared everything. So that's just kind of the way that I think that it should operate. And then if you're intentionally saying, no, you're not allowed to look at this, then like, why? I mean, we're spouses. Like, we
Hmm.
share a bed and we share kids and everything. Like, what else is there that you could possibly be hiding from me? Or you just don't trust me for some reason? Like, it's just showing that you don't trust me.
Yeah, and I definitely get that. I would say this, because you're just now meeting this person, 2 weeks,
Mhm. Mhm.
all the things. I think there's so many other conversations that you guys can be have and you guys
Mhm.
can have, to continue learning, okay, what could this possibly look like?
Mhm.
And so I wouldn't necessarily be too concerned about it right now, but I
Mhm.
do want you to remain curious as you continue to think through it. Because I
Yeah.
do think, especially when it comes to those kind of conversations, and the more that you guys have conversations, who knows? Like, again, you guys are still technically strangers. Like, y'all could grow into a place of comfortability and trust with one another to where,
Mhm.
it ends up not being a problem. Right. But we're so early, we don't know. But we do want to take that response and not act like he didn't say it. Like, we pocket it, right? We put it in a folder, we take tab
Yeah.
on it. It's not something to necessarily be so centered focused on in the moment. And I do want you to think about it in this realm too, in regards to the previous betrayal that you may have experienced. I do think there is room where some of that stuff can still be can still stay within our bodies. So,
Yeah.
like, even though we've logically overcame it, we've forgiven the person, God has done an amazing work, hallelujah, all the
Mhm.
things. It doesn't necessarily mean that there still hasn't been some kind of mechanisms, coping mechanisms, or something along those lines that have developed over time
Yeah.
to make us feel more like in control, or not even from a control standpoint, but feel best prepared. I want to eliminate all kinds of possibilities to where this could become my reality.
Mhm.
So I just want you to remain curious about maybe some of those betrayals that might still linger, that are still worth processing. And here's the beautiful thing about it is I do believe that in the event of creating a healthy relationship with someone, they could play a role in partnering with you to
Mhm.
co-regulate those experiences. So of
Yeah.
course he should want to know, okay, this is something you've experienced in the past, and I want to be able to put myself in the best position to be able to support you
Yeah.
as you're navigating it. And this is
Mhm.
where women must be willing to do the same for men.
Yes.
So it doesn't work one way. Everybody's got to play a role. And so perhaps where he is, I don't know his
Yeah.
background. I'm sure
I
you'll have the
think,
opportunity to
to
get to
be
know him.
honest, I think that part of it might be some trauma that he's had because he's also said some other thing about his past relationships, and I can sense that there's maybe some trauma there.
Yeah, we
Um,
can't expect people to just give something up so fast, so soon.
yeah.
It's all a
Uh-huh.
process. And you guys aren't married. Like, we just met,
Yeah, I would
so
never expect him to give it to me now, but I mean, if we were in a committed, trusted relationship, maybe, but I mean, most definitely if we were married. But
yeah,
do you
yeah.
think that I should like bring it up again, or how do you think I should approach it?
I think you should pocket it.
Mhm.
Okay. And by pocket it, I just mean, okay, if you, I'm, maybe this is just me. I'm a guy who takes notes on
Mhm.
a girl that I'm courting, dating, all the things.
Mhm.
So if that was a conversation and I noticed the response, I'm not going to make too big of a deal in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to just maybe make a note on it. Let it be
Mhm.
something that I come back to later. Because who knows? I mean, we might have another whole different reason on why we stopped talking than just phone access.
Yeah.
And it may not even make sense to talk about it then, because like we just learned as we kept having conversations, we don't even align more than we realized, right? So but in the event that the relationship continues to build, obviously this is going into the direction of a committed relationship, romantic connection, of all the
Mhm.
things. I think we can continue to bring that conversation up, and I think you might have a growing difference over time. Now, in
Mhm.
the event that you guys end up going the distance, and this is where I tell everybody we got to be in the present as best as we can, because sometimes we'll create stories on things that we're nowhere near close. We ain't
Mhm.
nowhere near no altar. We're nowhere near a wedding looking for dresses. We not there. But in the event that that ends up happening, um, before we begin to agree to like coming into full agreement, we want to get into and on the same page of what expectations look like there.
Yeah.
And whether that's we compromise, or hey, like, this is where I'm at, this is where I stand, and I'm not budging. You do have to ask yourself in terms of values, is that a make or break for you?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if it's necessarily something that has to be as big as a deal breaker, but again, if there's a lot of different deeper wounds that have carried from previous
Yeah.
relationships where that is, then we want to be honest about that.
Yeah. I guess for
But
me, I guess it would probably be make or break just on the matter of principle because
mhm,
everyone's life is on their phones. You
mhm.
know, I just want to know that he actually trusts me. And
Mm.
if he can't trust me, then it's like, well, why are we married? Like your
So is there
spouse would be the person that you trust most in the whole world.
sure. Yeah. So is there and again, I'm not saying that you're wrong in this situation,
Mm-hmm.
but is there any other way
Mm-hmm.
that he could reaffirm to you that he trusts you and it's not about the phone?
Um, I mean, it's so early right now since we've only been talking for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so let's not even go with him. Let's just say from a dream relationship standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
This is your husband,
Yeah.
whoever he is.
Mm-hmm.
How else can he prove to you that he trusts you and
Mm-hmm.
it's not about the phone and you're
Yeah.
still able to get that fullness of connection with him?
Okay. I guess I would have to think about that. I don't know if I have an answer right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I would encourage. Just as beginning thoughts, right? Again, it's
Mm-hmm.
early stages. We do not need to be coming to no conclusions on what this is going to look like and how,
Mm-hmm.
imagining all the things. We just need to be in the present and be in the process as this is developing.
Yeah. Okay.
And, when if the time comes where you guys are starting to talk about more serious things and that is on the forefront of your mind, by all means, have the
Yeah.
conversation, stay curious. But it's just really, really early right now. And it's
Yeah.
hard to tell. So I would just encourage you to have the conversation, enjoy the time, and still play a role of getting to know one another that maybe is different than phone accesses at a stage you're not at.
Yeah. I mean, if it becomes more serious, to that point, then maybe we'll bring it up. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to, because we do seem like we get along in a lot of ways and agree on a lot of stuff. So,
sure. Yeah,
but I appreciate the help.
absolutely. Yeah. I encourage everyone, listen, be in the present. We are not, you probably heard the term date to marry,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm of the mindset of date to be present.
Okay.
Date to marry, I get the understanding. And yes, we want to move intentionally. I don't want to just
Mm-hmm.
date to date. I do want to eventually get married. So obviously that's understood.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we move so fast with some of these finish lines
Mm-hmm.
that we forget the most important part, being present. And you, just like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, you miss 100% of the relationships that you are not present for. And there are things that you will miss or you won't pay attention to, or that, you might ignore simply because, well, we already feel compatible to marriage. So we're already thinking of what that looks like, but we're only on week 2. There's
Yeah.
so much more to be able to just be open up and to just be open and available to learning about him as he's learning about you, and be
Yeah.
in the present with it.
Oh
Okay.
well, I'll remember
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. Be in the present with it. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. If you have any other questions, just send me a message. I'd love to
Yep.
help.
Bye.
Absolutely. Easy. Hey, put a 1 in the chat for Claw Queen. Um, well, how do you get to that mindset? Yeah, that's a great question. Well, this actually is where I'm gonna pivot and send you well, to the messages, okay? Because I think there's a lot of different things that I have in store and in progress and in programs and all the things to help you, but not actually just to put you through that, but to simply put it, one of the best ways to be in the present is gratitude. A lot of times the anxiety is pushing you forward from anticipation. Okay. You see something in the moment. And so now, based off what you feel in the moment, there's a sense of anticipation for what's to come. And so, in order to ground that anticipation and still hold a level of excitement about what you're seeing, is to come back to the present through gratitude, simple methods that we can enact on, but also realize too that what's happening now is better than what you envision to happen later. Like the value of a relationship, the value of who you are, the value of where you are is here. We always talk about things like wanting peace, wanting joy, wanting all the things in a relationship. And we forget that the most important piece to doing that isn't racing and hurrying to a foregone conclusion or a long distance to arrive someplace. It's here. It's here. So gratitude is a big one. There's other things that I would love to give to you as well. That's a huge, huge place. Peace is an inward job. Absolutely, Scorpio. Peace is an inward job um, that we have to cultivate. Here's the thing. Again, I'm not sure where you're answering this or asking this question from, but this is just the background of how I move. This is the last thing I'll say. Again, I encourage all of you, send me a message of secure if you're wanting to get in my secure program. Send me a message of secure sessions if you're interested in getting on my books to work together to process through some things. And then go to the top of my page to take your relationship diagnostic or get your free attachment style quiz. Okay. All of that is at the top of the page in the link. To I forget who asked that. That John Kiara. Yeah. Send me a message. Okay. I would love to get more into that. Send me a message secure. We can talk about what that looks like. But when you're talking about getting into the present, this is the last thing I'll say. Because your mind is racing and you're trying to achieve something, you forget that a lot of what you want to experience is right in front of you in the moment if you're just willing to breathe. You got to slow down. It's here. I can't tell you how many relationships I've messed and ruined, not because we were incompatible or all the things, but because I was so caught up on trying to get to the finish line. Because the goal was to make her my girl, or the goal was to get here and there. And I missed it. And a lot of times we end up frustrated because, man, the goal, the outcome that I had didn't happen. And so we were so attached to that we forgot the most important part is to be able to focus and grow into who you're becoming based on who you're connecting to in the present. So you do that applicably. Your mind on dates is racing. Okay. I know y'all. I coach women, like men too. I mean, it's a human thing. But y'all will go to a dinner with a guy, and the very mere fact that he is sitting on the side of the table where he's facing the doorway and the exit, that already is computing to you if he's safe or not in some way. Then on top of that, if he reaches for the bill and he pays for it, no questions asked. What does that mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? And the details. Women focus on details. That's a beautiful thing. That's what makes y'all amazing. But there is a way to contain that without allowing that to go buck wild to the point where you're living and overthinking and you're tripping yourself up. And getting into the present is a daily practice that we don't just end up randomly at, but we move intentionally with every day to become grounded. So it's not just a one-time thing. You don't just wait to do it at dates. You don't just wait to do it. No, we do it every day. We build a routine out of this. And before you know it, not just your dates are a lot more slower, easier, healthier, but so is your life. Okay. Hey, I love it, Starscopio. I hope this was helpful. Put a one in the chat if this stream was helpful. Was this impactful? Did this make sense? Was this a conversation that you didn't know you needed till you had it? All the things. Put in the chat. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. I thank you so much for tuning in to this conversation. If I did not get to your call and you have a question, send me a message. Okay. If you are interested in secure program, send secure. Okay. We'll get into next steps of what that looks like to get you involved. If you are looking for secure sessions, you want to get in the books, you're wanting to get some sessions together to work through some things that is relationship related and things that are deeper than relationships. Okay. Your boy is all things related to life. We're working on relationship with yourself, God, and others. So it all affects everything. You may not be in a relationship, but you need some work. Hey, send me secure sessions. I would love to work with you. It would be an honor. Okay. We'll get you on the books and see what that looks like. Go to the top of my page, click that link, and get your free relational diagnostic. Okay. Stop playing around in 2026 thinking that the new year was just supposed to bring in new things for your relationships without you having to do some intentional work and become aware of things that are causing from an underlying surface the responses you're seeing on love in reality. Okay. Change all that. Thank you for the heart me. So go get your relationship diagnostic. And then at that same link, okay, go scroll down and click take your attachment style quiz if you want to know your attachment style. Okay. That's a quick questionnaire that gives you an opportunity to see what that is. When you get your questionnaire and you finish it, you're going to see 3 levels unlocked. You're going to see those explanations. Scroll down a little bit and click book my qualification call. Your qualification call is free. So you're going to book that. You're going to answer those questions, and it's going to give you a suggestion based on how you answer those questions. What membership makes the most sense for you to join and be a part of if you're serious about getting some work in and healing. Okay. You can click book your qualification call, schedule a time, okay? And we'll be on our call together to see what best situation looks like. Glitzy, if you click the link at the top of the page, it should bring you to the home page where it just has the heading, all the things, and then be able to what are we saying here? Be able to go to the bottom and has a gold bold line. Okay. A gold bold line that says take your attachment style quiz. Okay. You'll see the gold button that says enter relationship portal. When you keep scrolling and be beneath it, yeah, check again. If you still see an issue, send me a message. Mariana, send me a message. There's no times available when you try to book. Yeah, I'll get that fixed. I don't know why that's doing that. It's still on beta. Everything is app correlated. So give me some grace, but send me a message and send a screenshot, by the way, of what your screen looks like when you send me the message, Mariana, so we can look at that. And I can just send you the link to book the call. And we can look at what next things are. Okay. All right. That's it. Waitlist. Yeah. Join that. Join that, Glitzy. Join that. If it says waitlist, join that. I got an active program in there as well for you guys to be invested in. Okay. So you're building and growing there. All right. It's preparing you for everything in terms of how I do things from a systemized perspective, and helping you move forward to security. And then I have spots that open up weekly. Okay. So you might not have to wait long as you're in the wait list. It's active and you have to be able to get a certain amount of points to stay on the rankings as many people are in there being and participating. Okay. It's a different system around here, but I want the best for you. And this is how we get there. Okay. Again, if you have questions, anything like that, send me a message. I'd love to chat with you. Until next time, I'll be back tomorrow, 1:30, roughly. All right. Can't wait to see you then. Until then, be easy and be breezy, my friends. Peace.